this episode of the Connecting Faith to Life podcast. I'm Trey Rhodes, a Connections pastor at Northwood Baptist Church here in North Charleston, South Carolina. In just a few moments, our lead pastor, Dr. Tommy Metter, will be joining the conversation as well. In our crazy and chaotic world, our hope is that these few minutes will help you stop and reflect on your relationship with Jesus as you learn to connect Christ-centered faith to your everyday life. Well, we have blown right through 150. We're on episode 156 of the Connecting Faith to Life podcast. And
the weeks just keep going by.
They do. And more people listening. You were just telling me just a minute ago how we've had a lot of listens from last week, which was a very impactful.
Ms. Kim came and talked about the pregnancy center, and it was a good episode.
And so just continue.
Good conversation.
You're doing a good job getting the word out, and we appreciate it greatly. So and we hope that you'll continue listening and continue promoting Connecting Faith to Life. So if you do that on Facebook or Twitter or text or in your small group or at church or whatever, keep on doing it. We can help reach and influence people so they connect the Word of God to their everyday lives. Pastor.
Trey, we need to talk about you for just a minute.
Oh, you're gonna go there?
Well, it is your birthday. If you're listening on the day of release, today is Pop's birthday.
And it is a special, I don't think, I worked one time on my birthday, WCSC, back in the day, back when I was about 19 years old. I think on my 19th birthday, I worked on my birthday.
You usually take the day off on your birthday.
Yeah, I do.
But we had yesterday off because it was 4th of July, and so
it's hard to take both days off,
and you had a lot to do. Because we're going out of town next week. We're going to lead a missionary conference. And but today is how do you feel?
I don't feel any different.
You feel the same as you did yesterday?
Yeah, I feel the same. I had a back issue because I'm an old man. I knew you didn't say that. Thank you, brother. That was Scott doing that for us. But anyway, I had a back issue, but I'm over it.
Good for you.
So I'm happy.
And your wife just took you out to lunch.
Yep.
Where'd she take you?
She took me home, and That's
not taking you out. That's taking you. She just got home for a turkey sandwich.
I had a turkey sandwich, and she had a peanut butter and jelly. But we spent lunch together, brother. I don't get to do that very often with her. So,
all right. Did you ever go bird watching?
No, but I've been trying to talk her into it.
I thought that was like the big thing.
It is a big thing. Okay. It just didn't work, brother. Okay. Anyway, we're going to make it happen.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
You don't look a day older than you did yesterday.
Well, that means a lot to me. It really does. Oh, wow. We're getting a lot of, thanks, Scott. Anyway, what we are going to talk about today is something that we are all bad at, and that is being distracted.
So let me ask you a question before we can start talking about it. Are you easily distracted?
I can't remember what we were talking about a minute ago.
That's because you're old, not because you're distracted.
Oh, yeah, I knew that was coming. All right, anyway, but it really is, and it is true.
Are you easily distracted? You didn't answer my question, Pops. Are you easily distracted?
Yes.
Yeah, you are?
Very easily distracted.
I'm distracting you now.
I don't know if you've ever seen Up, and the dog, he always says squirrel.
Yeah. That's you?
That is me. Well, what is that over there? Kelly said, what are we just talking about? I don't have any idea. I was looking at that over there.
It's easy to get distracted, isn't it?
Yeah, like we were talking yesterday morning, and I saw a beautiful Mississippi kite, which is a bird, fly by the window.
Mississippi kite, you bird watcher, you.
Yeah, and I said, Kelly, look at that. It's some type of a raptor. It's a raptor of sorts.
I thought those were dinosaurs.
Yeah, but no. Anyway, that's a bird. But anyway, so I saw it, and then I had no idea what we were talking about after that.
Yeah. Well, this is a good conversation.
This is a good, and especially when it comes
to the digital world.
To the digital world, and it's easy for me to get distracted. My wife corrected me the other night, and I felt terrible, but she was right.
Distracted by the digital stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. So if you remember a couple weeks ago, we started talking about this digital world. And we talked about a couple weeks ago, last week, obviously, we took a little segue in light of Roe v. Wade. We brought Ms. Kim in to talk about the pregnancy center. But we had begun talking a couple weeks ago about the digital world and some commitments that we can make to live well in this digital world. And so we want to continue this conversation about the digital world and how it influences us, how we can live in this digital world well. And so I thought it'd be really helpful for us to think about how this digital world distracts us.
I think it's
and
really
what
good.
We can do to maybe overcome some of those distractions that the digital world brings into our lives. But just remembering, Pops, that the digital world isn't all bad, obviously. It's good. I'm very thankful for technology, very thankful for how technology in a lot of ways has made life, easier in some ways, how technology has opened up some new ways of ministry for the church. I mean, technology has been a very good thing. And I don't know if you know this, Pops, but technology has been around since the beginning of time.
Everything.
That guy who invented the wheel.
I was going to say that was a technology.
That was a technological advancement.
Yeah, it was.
Well, even biblically, you go back and you think about the story of Cain and Abel, and after Cain commits that, just terrible sin of murdering his brother, and he begins to go in a different direction, builds the first city. That's a technological development that you see right in the Bible. So technology has been around forever, or at least since the beginning of time, and so it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just how we respond to it. And we think about the last 20 or 30 years, this digital revolution that we find ourselves in.
We always spend about the first 20 years of a new advancement. I feel like we spend the first 20 years saying how terrible that advancement is.
Yeah.
And then we say, well, we better start using it or we're going to lose out.
Right.
And, everything from, in our lifetime, television, that was the devil's playground. Video was horrible. Internet, and especially in my day, email. Oh, that was going to destroy the world. Email was going to destroy the world. And it's just been, every time something comes up, it's just going to be the most awful thing that ever happened. And yet we've got to find ways inside that technology to take the good with the bad.
Yeah, so it's not the most awful thing. It's actually a good thing. Just how do we use it well, and how do we use it in such a way that does not distract us from what's most important in life. And so that's what we're talking about. How do we, use technology? How do we live in this digital world in such a way that we're not distracted by the digital world? And so what we want to do on this episode is to simply answer three questions. That I think are going to help us to know how to live well in this digital world without giving in to a lot of distraction.
All right. Well, here's the first question. Why do we want distractions?
That's an odd question, isn't it?
That is an odd question.
But,
do you think we really want them?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. We want to be distracted. That's part of our problem is we like to be distracted. I don't know if you know this or not, Pops, but we crave distractions. Do you know why we crave distractions? Because life is hard. I mean, there's real troubles in life, and so we want something to get our minds off the troubles of life. That's why it's so easy to turn to media, whether it's to turn to your phone and scroll social media for a couple hours, or to watch it, or to binge on Netflix, or whatever the case may be. That digital world that's there says what to us? It says escape for a little while. Escape real life, escape your troubles, and just come focus here for a bit. That's why you're even seeing things now created or being created, like the metaverse. Have you heard much about the metaverse?
Tell me.
Metaverse is this going to be this you've seen the virtual reality glasses or whatever they are, the Oculus, whatever those things are, where you can put it on and they transport you to a different world. And so now this metaverse is being developed where you can literally have an alternate reality that's digital, that you can, and I don't know if you've seen this in some of the news or whatever, but you can buy a virtual property.
What?
Yes, you can go buy a house in the metaverse, man. And people are spending a lot of money to buy this stuff. You can buy a virtual wardrobe to wear on your digital self. It's crazy. There are even some churches, not very many, but I've noticed a couple of churches that have already started offering worship services in the metaverse. I read an article, and I'd have to go back and show it to you, Pops, because you would not believe it. There's already been baptisms in the metaverse. Isn't that wild to think about?
That is.
Just so we're
and
creating.
That's why we get old and die, because some of this stuff is just so far beyond anything.
I don't want to live for this stuff. Yeah. But yeah, that's the deal that we're creating a complete alternate universe for us to live in that's digital. It's wild. But part of the reason why is we want that distraction. We want a way to escape the troubles of life. And so some of us turn to the digital world because it offers us that escape. So the reality is we want to be distracted because we want to escape troubles. Or think about it this way too, Pops. Not only to escape troubles, some of us want to escape the silence. You ever thought about that? That we live in a world where all we get oftentimes is noise. And we don't know what to do when there's not noise.
Oh, so when there's not noise, we've got to have somewhere.
Yeah. I remember a couple of years ago, well, it was lots of years ago, it was before Luke was born. We had a couple in our last church. They had a lake house, and they let us go stay in their lake house. And at that lake house, they didn't have any TV. The phones didn't work. It was silent.
And?
It was terrible.
I was going to ask. Terrible or good?
I mean, I would like to say it was good, but even for me, and I spend a lot of my day kind of working sometimes alone when preparing sermons, but even when I'm doing that, I've got my headphones on, I'm listening to music. I mean, even me, there's just something about not wanting there to be just complete silence, right? We want to escape the silence. And so because of that, sometimes we'll let the digital world distract us, because you know what happens in silence sometimes? You have to think and reflect.
I was going to say that's.
And we don't want to think and reflect, right? And so we'll escape to the digital world, so we don't have to sit in silence and actually think and reflect on our lives. You see what I'm saying? And so we again want that distraction. Or think about this, and this is probably common for all of us. We want to be distracted from the work that needs to be done.
Yeah.
It's hard to get to work sometimes, isn't it, Pops?
It is.
And so just to procrastinate, we'll scroll that Facebook page, or we'll watch that YouTube video, or wherever the case may be. We'll take a visit to the metaverse, whatever it is, just so we can put off what we know must be done, because work can be hard. Yeah, I mean, I think about, just the process of getting started on a Monday morning, whatever your job is, whether it's, going out and doing construction, or whether it's like me getting ready to do some deep thinking and praying and studying of the scripture. Man, it takes a lot to get ready for that. And sometimes I'll go over to the YouTube just because I'm not quite ready to get to work. And so I end up putting things off a little bit. And so we want to be distracted because we don't want to get to the real work sometimes that needs to be done. Or you think about, man, here it is, July. What day do you cut your grass on, Trey?
Oh, it's almost always Saturday.
Saturday?
Yeah.
I usually cut my grass on Friday. I like cutting the grass. I like the finished product. But when it's 115 degrees outside, I'm looking for a distraction.
I just got an electric lawnmower, and you can mow it anytime you want, by the way.
You can mow it anytime you want.
In the morning, no noise.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. You don't have to
quiet,
wait. Yeah, well, maybe I need to do that. But we're people who want distraction because we want to escape from troubles. We want to escape the silence, and we want to escape the work that we need to do. And so distraction is common to us. And the reason why we give into distraction is because deep down inside of us, we really want to be distracted. Do you ever think about that?
That's what we want.
Yeah.
We want it.
Yeah.
I know that there have been times in my life I'm just absolutely brain dead, exhausted. I don't know, you know, those days that you've had where all you did was think all day long.
Yeah.
I come home and I watch dumb British murder mysteries.
Yeah, you've told us about your fascination with British shows. You like the British cooking show that put you to sleep tonight.
Yeah.
British murder mysteries.
Yeah, British.
Downton Abbey, you watched all of those.
Downton Abbey, yeah. So.
You Mr. Bean fan?
No.
No.
I don't get British humor at all.
Mr. Bean's the only good thing the British put out.
I don't get British humor. But anyway, but seriously, I can
if
cut
you're
it on.
Listening and you're British, I did not mean to offend you just now. There's lots of good things about the British culture, but Mr. Bean is one of the highlights.
Okay. But here's my point. Here's my point is that I'm able to put that on and literally I go to sleep.
Yeah.
Because I just got to rest my brain.
And there's nothing wrong with that. We'll talk about that in a few moments. There's nothing wrong
but
with
I'm saying it is a common desire.
Yeah.
But what happens is with anything, we take something that we could use for good and we mess
Absolutely.
it up.
Absolutely.
All right, second question. How does a digital world distract us?
Okay, so we want to be distracted, but let's talk for a moment about how this distraction happens. And this is an unhealthy distraction, right? A digital world obviously distracts us from being productive in our work.
Mm-hmm. I would agree.
You got things you got to get done. And so here's the question. So our line of work is a little bit different than the line of work some others might have. If you are obviously a police officer or, a firefighter or something in the emergency services, you can't be distracted, right? If you're in military service and it's wartime, you can't be distracted because lives depend on it. Your life depends on it, but then lives of others depend on it, about you being super focused. If you're an airline pilot, I don't want to fly with you if you're distracted, right? I mean, come on now. So there's some lines of work that man, you are trained from day one. You better not get distracted.
That's for sure.
Because lives will be at jeopardy and even your own life will be at jeopardy. But then there are those other lines of work where, it's a little bit easier to be distracted. And I think, for example, people who are maybe in the kinds of work that we're not just ministry, but the types of work where you do a lot of thinking, right? You do a lot of setting your own schedule. You do a lot of, talking to people, whether that's in sales or whether it's in ministry or whether it's maybe even being a professor at a college or a teacher at a school. These things that we would call maybe knowledge work, right? When I say knowledge work, that means you're spending a lot of your time thinking, processing, putting things on paper, sitting in meetings, those kinds of things. It's so easy to be distracted and be unproductive. And you think about, again, how many times maybe over the course of the workday you access some type of digital content to distract you from the work. I mean, just think about if you're working an 8, 9, 10-hour day, how many times did you touch your phone to check Facebook or to watch a YouTube video or to check the TikTok or whatever the case may be? And so what a digital world does, it distracts us from being productive. There's a great book. It's called Deep Work by Carl Newport. He talks about how to work in an undistracted way. And he gives all these tips about what to do to make sure that you are in a place where you can let your mind think deeply and work well without the distractions. Because the reality is we're so distracted that we might get the task done that we're supposed to do, but we don't get it done with our best. We don't give it deep enough thought, deep enough action, or whatever the case may be. And so just understanding that digital world, it really does distract us from being at our best in our work.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Or you think about this, not only does it distract us in our work, it distracts us from being intentional in building relationships, which is really interesting in it, Pops, because you think about what the internet has done, what this digital revolution has done, is it's brought the world closer. I mean, it still blows my mind that at any given time, I can have a face-to-face conversation with somebody across the world.
And we have.
I did that just a couple weeks ago. I had a face-to-face conversation with some of our missionary workers. I led a little conference with them across the world. They were on the other side of the world. And I was in my house, and I saw their faces, every single one of them. And so just to think, man, that's an amazing gift that technology has given us. And so you think about, in a lot of ways, what technology has done is it's allowed us to be closer, and it's become an avenue for us to build relationships. I mean, not only think about, me being able to minister to people on the other side of the world through the technology we have, but I just think, and this is a good thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. It's a good thing. I think about the number of couples I know nowadays who met online and then got married. And dating is completely different than it was, 15, 20 years ago. When Stacy and I first started dating, that's not how we met, but that was just kind of getting started. Right. But now it's not uncommon at all to hear somebody's story. Well, how'd you guys meet? Well, we met online. I mean, it's just more, and so you think about the internet, digital revolution, it in a lot of ways has brought people together. But at the same time, it's also torn people apart. Right.
And that's where I got in trouble. I was with somebody that I loved. And I was messing around with the internet. When the person, I was trying to answer a question somebody had written me. And so, anyway, but I was more concerned about the person on the internet than I was the person with me. Which makes no sense.
Absolutely. So you think about social media, all those things where we're scrolling down a page to see what's going on in the lives of other people, but oftentimes we don't know what's going on in the lives of the people that live in our own house. This is what the digital world has done. It's given us access to everybody else. But while it's given us access to everybody else, in a lot of ways, it can harm the relationships we have with the people that are closest to us. It is a distraction to us really building intentional relationships with the people that we love. And just, you think about it, Trey, and I'm bad about this, and I need to get better, and I know I need to get better, and I'm going to try to get better. But even when you have your mobile device with you and you're out having coffee with somebody, or where is your mobile device usually?
It's sitting on the table.
Sitting on the table in front of you. And so just by having that device on the table in front of you, what are you saying?
That's important to me.
This is important to me. If somebody texts me or calls me, they're going to get my attention. So you are kind of saying to that person that you're with, whether it's your spouse, which I've been guilty of doing this with my spouse, whether it's your kids, whether it's somebody, you're just a friend or whatever the case may be, you're saying to them, this takes precedent over you. The moment this thing rings, the moment it dings, I'm picking it up and I'm going to see who wants my attention. And so it just could be as simple as just this device that you have with you is that when you're out drinking coffee with somebody or getting a bite of lunch, you just put it in your pocket or leave it in your car. You'll be all right for an hour. You see what I'm saying? And so that's the thing. These digital devices, this digital world, it really does in a lot of ways hinder us from building the most intimate relationships with the people that we love.
Amen.
So you think about that. You think about, obviously, a digital world distracts us from being intentional in our relationship with God.
Ooh.
I mean, it just really does.
You know, I use, and I'm sure a lot of people listening do, they use YouVersion.
I do. Oh my, yeah, absolutely.
But the problem is that some of my apps come up and pop up at the top.
Yeah, you got those notifications that are there.
So I'm sitting there reading, whether it's my iPad or this, and there comes that notification, immediately distracted.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah. And I'm the same way. I use YouVersion. I mean, it's just easy in the morning to grab my iPad and open that app. And you've got your reading plan that's there. You can check it off as you go, and you've got multiple translations I can read from, and just at the click of a button or all those. So I love that, right? And I know that even in our church, a lot of people use their iPad or their mobile device as their Bible that they bring to church with them. And I'm not necessarily opposed to that. Whatever that works for you, that's fine. But just notice that, or just take note that if you are holding a device in your hand when you're communing with God, you are opening yourself up to distraction. Or you think about, right, and it's what it is. I'm not, whether it's bad or good or whatever, that's not the point. But the reality is that for most of us, when we first get out of the bed in the morning, the first thing we do is pick up our device, right? Who texted us during the night, or is there anything I need to catch up on Facebook, or let me check the weather news sources or the weather or whatever the case may be.
Find out where the birds are flying.
Right. And so we'll spend a good 20, 30 minutes on our phone when we get up in the morning instead of taking that first 20 or 30 minutes and getting alone with the Lord and praying and seeking His face. And so again, that digital world, it really, or even think about this, Pops. I mean, it is so much easier to pick up a device and to search the news channels or whatever the case may be than it is to, just get a good book that can teach you something about the things of God. Read a A.W. Tozer, Attributes of God, or whatever the case may be. It's sure a whole lot easier to let my mind go to things that really don't matter instead of picking up something that might teach me something about God and His character. And so you're just thinking about, how this digital world that we live in, it really does distract us from a relationship with God a lot of times.
I use a synthesis of the two. I use my YouVersion, but I also have a wonderful Schuyler Bible that I use, and that's what I read through. So I use which verses I'm supposed to be reading for that day, but I'm reading in the Bible.
The actual Bible. That's
so it kind of keeps me away from, but I can use that if I need it as a tool. So anyway, just something to think about.
One more, and then we'll answer this third question. So the digital world distracts us from relationships, from work, from a relationship with God, and it also distracts us just from enjoying real life. I mean, just think about it. It takes no effort. People buried
in that thing.
Yeah, you're right. It takes no effort to watch a movie.
Yeah.
It takes some effort to go outside and maybe take your boys fishing.
Yeah.
Right? It takes no effort to pick up a phone and scroll for an hour. It takes some effort to go take a walk, with your spouse, where the case may be. And so what this device does is that it keeps you from enjoying real life, things that are actually happening in the world outside of your home that are off a screen. And just remembering, right, that we talked about this on a Sunday morning. We talked about Psalm 19, that God has created this beautiful world for us to enjoy for His glory. It shows us the glory of God. And so why not get out there and enjoy it? But this digital device, this digital revolution, it distracts us from enjoying this world and this life that God has given us.
Amen. All right, well, let's jump to the third question, and that is, how do I begin to overcome the distractions?
All right, so here's where we get nitty gritty. We're not going to spend a lot of time here, but just kind of think through this. How do I begin to overcome the distractions that are brought on by a digital world? Well, one, you've got to evaluate your media consumption. For a lot of us, it's just time to be honest. How much time am I losing to the digital world? Now, I know some of us, you're like me, and part of your career is based in the digital world. I mean, I think about, for me, responding to emails or preparing sermons where I'm using digital resources. So part of my work week is involved in the digital world. I know we've got programmers that go to our church. We've got IT guys that go to our church. We have ladies who do different things online. So I know we got a lot of people in our church that part of their lives, their work life, is in the digital world. And I get that, but that part of your life that's not devoted to working in the digital world, that free time that you have, how much of that is being consumed by the digital world? And just being honest with that. And, on your phone, if you're like me, you have an iPhone, it reports to me every week how much time I spent staring at my screen. And sometimes that's really, really embarrassing and humbling.
Well, I was bragging to my wife, I don't spend more than 2 hours a day on the phone or whatever. That's a lie, because I put 2 hours on my phone to shut off at 2 hours.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I went, whoa, it's 10:30 in the morning. I'm already locked out.
Well, there you go.
So,
But just being honest with yourself and just asking how much of my time is being consumed by a digital world, whether it is a device or whether it's watching Netflix or whatever the case may be. Or think about this. Assess what you really value.
Mm-hmm.
So your consumption of digital media, what is it saying about what you value in life? If you find yourself spending 5, 6, 7 hours on digital media every single day, it might show that what you value is time wasting.
Yeah.
Or it is those distractions, or it is whatever that thing is you're searching for the most on the internet. I don't know, but just just assessing, where do I really find value in life? And if you ask yourself that question, I think many of us find value more so in the digital world rather than this real world that God has made for us to enjoy. And so that can be something we need to think about. Or think about this. This is just a real easy thing to do, especially if you're using your device for Bible reading, or if you're like me and you've got to get that deep work done. You really can turn off your notifications and put your phone away for extended periods of time. Just try it. The next time you go out to eat dinner with your spouse or your family or that friend of yours or whoever it might be, try leaving the phone in the car. Just kind of see what it feels like to leave your phone in the car and see how much more you're engaged in the conversation. Or you're sitting at your desk, you're trying to get stuff done. Turn all the notifications. On my phone, it's probably the same as your phone too, Trey. You can put your phone on Do Not Disturb.
Yeah, you can.
Do it. I do it. In fact, I've gotten in the habit of because I sit at a computer and I've got a MacBook, so everything that pops up on my phone pops up on my MacBook as well because they're synced together. But I've gotten to the point where I close everything out on my MacBook as well, except for my Bible study software. So and that's helped to limit those distractions.
Good idea.
So you can limit those distractions by turning off your notifications, by leaving your phone in the car. But just think about those little things that you can do that are going to help you not be distracted by every ding that comes across your phone. You can go into your phone and actually choose what notifications pop up and don't pop up. Maybe you need that text message to pop up, but you don't need all the notifications from ESPN and Fox News to pop up. You can take those off, right?
Sure.
And so that might be a helpful thing for you to do. Or think about this. Plan your screen time and plan your downtime.
Oh, okay.
So what I mean by that is it's probably a good thing to plan your screen. It's okay to have some screen time. It's okay to veg out for a few minutes and check social media, or to, visit ESPN and see what the Braves are doing. All that's okay, right? Just plan for it. Instead of every few minutes compulsively checking, say, okay, after I get this done over the next couple hours, I'm going to take 10 minutes and catch up on social media, and that's okay. Plan for that screen time, and then plan your downtime.
Okay.
See, I think the reason why we get sucked into Netflix or sucked into social media or sucked into whatever it is that's in that digital world when we have downtime is because we don't plan for anything constructive in our downtime. We don't plan, okay, when I get home this afternoon after I have dinner and I've got a couple free hours, I'm going to take my boys out to the pond and go fishing, or I'm going to go out back and throw the ball, or I'm going to sit down with my wife and we're going to, play a board game, or I'm going to read a book, or I'm going to go to the shop and build something, or whatever the case may be. We don't plan for that downtime. And since we don't plan for it, we let just other stuff distract us. And so take some time to say, okay, here's some things I want to accomplish this week in that downtime I have. It might be some extra family time. It might be a project you want to work on. It might be developing a new skill or a habit. In that, plan to do that in that downtime and then execute it. I think the reason why we are so distracted sometimes is we just don't plan on how we can best use that downtime or that free time that we have during the day.
Here's a tip from me. I use it. For instance, my wife says I need help with. Doesn't matter what I'm doing on my phones or that sort of thing. I say, I'm there. And I go, whatever it is she needs help with, I go do it. Just stop. So
I complain about it.
Be distracted. For me, this is what helps. I'm distracted from that distraction of the internet, whatever it is. I can always say, okay, I'm stopping here.
That's right. Good.
Anyway.
Good.
Well, Pastor, I think this has been a great way to think it through. Just as we do that, though, we got somebody that's really having a struggle with this right now. They're listening. All right, where can they start with this?
If you know that you are really struggling with the distraction of the device, I think the one thing that you would probably help you that you probably don't want is accountability.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Whether that's accountability with your spouse, with a close friend, with your children, but someone to hold you accountable and says, hey, I noticed today that you were distracted, right? And just having that, or someone that you'll answer to, hey, how much time did you spend on the phone today?
Yeah.
And sharing that information with them. And I think that accountability kind of helps us to see where we struggle, and that accountability encourages us to maybe do a little better in that particular area. So get some accountability and be honest with yourself, and begin putting a plan in place to overcome the distractions.
Amen. Well, Pastor, close us out and get us ready for next week.
All right. We do hope today's episode has been helpful for you. And if it has been helpful for you, we invite you to leave us a 5-star review. That helps us to get word out about our podcast. Right now, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That way you get new content delivered to your device every single week. And as always, we hope that today's episode has helped you connect faith to life.